those don't require an awful lot of engagement on our part. It doesn't take me much to watch a short video. I'm not really investing too heavily if I just check out an ad. There's still activities that we'll see. They're not going to be all that valuable because the level of engagement is low. The folks that are paying us for higher levels of engagement, better quality engagements, because that is what drives their business and that's what they're paying us for. It will also see things like email offers, just giving up our email so we can be marketed to. That's optional. It's not going to be required. We'll see it coming, but that's one of our activities. Surveys. We can sign up to take surveys. I've already been doing a bunch of these as this latest round of testing has gone forward, and I've gone through lots of surveys. Some of them pretty interesting, some of them kind of boring, some of them kind of long. All are driven by the advertisers and marketers for them to gather their intel, and for that intel, they'll pay us. Some of those surveys will be rolled out directly from Divvee. Others will come directly from the advertisers. The ones that I've been doing, once I've opted in, I've been getting things directly from advertisers and pollsters like the Harris poll. So we'll see quite a few activities like that help the advertisers and the marketers. We'll also see subscription offers like a free trial. I can get a free trial of razors, for instance. If I go through a new razor blade every week, then I can use the free trial to see if I like it. Now, I'm not going to goof around and sign up for things I couldn't possibly care about. I'm not going to sign up for service I don't have any interest in using or a product I have no interest in trying out. So I'm going to keep it pretty narrow. I'm going to use just my stuff. I may spend a few bucks to do it, my choice. If I see something I like, I might spend a few bucks. For instance, if I want the Wall Street Journal delivered to my house, I might spend a few bucks for a reduced price subscription to get the Wall Street Journal. Oh, I'm getting a text here. Let's see. It's hard to read all the surveys on the black background. Huh. Kathy, can you unmute so I can ask you?
Yes.
Are you seeing just my slides?
I can see your slides.
Do you see other stuff? Actually, is that better?
Oh, that for my screen, that just made it too large, but that just could be my view options. So I don't know, on my computer, I've got two screens. So one is your screen, and then the other one is just all the people in the call.
Okay, I just want to make it as...
All I see is all the people on the call.
So check on your, are you on a phone or desktop?
Desktop.
So you just kind of hover, you should have another window open.
Nope.
Okay, I'm recording this, so hopefully it's capturing his screen.
I can choose to see the people on the call, or I can choose to see the slides. So
I'm clicking on your name and nothing happens. I might be the only one, so I don't want to waste everyone's time.
Not a waste. Let's see. I don't know what else to tell you. I can see when I hover over the black, I've got choices up at the top for the things that I can see. So check up there and maybe you can see the slides. But I will hit every point on every slide, so even if you can't see the slides, you'll still get all the content.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So under the Divvee 2.0, we've got the rank and share. I can do subscription offers. I can do free trials. I'll have a variety of ways to engage. I'll still need to do my 100 activities each month. That hasn't yet changed. I won't be surprised if that changes a little bit, just because some activities require a much higher level of engagement. But so far, that's not the case. There hasn't been an adjustment. I even checked with Lance earlier this week, and no adjustment yet. So still assume we'll have 100 activities. We also heard from the founders a couple months or so back about having bundles of activities, nice, neat bundles pushed out to us each day. activities that we could do to stay on track. They told us that we might see that by the end of the year. It'll take quite a while to get there. It's still being worked on. The rank and share will look better. It's still going to be a little clunky, but it will look better than what we've seen. Better organization, better variety. So it's going in the right direction. The activities themselves are going to be a little time consuming, a little laborious. Don't be surprised if you spend a half an hour or more per day. And it's interesting. I've heard from a few folks concern about having to spend time, and I don't really have, I don't have a whole lot of patience for folks who are thinking they're going to make a lot of money with no time, no effort. We've got to expect there's going to be some time and some effort. 30 minutes, maybe some days 60 minutes, depending on what kinds of activities we're doing. At some point, I'm going to be happy with that. Now, if I'm spending 30 minutes a day for $1 a day, I'm not so excited about that. But if I'm spending 30 to 60 minutes per day, and eventually I'm up to 500, 600, 700 a month, I'm pretty happy. That's a pretty good hourly rate. And I think we can still go well beyond that. That part's great. As far as the interface, I mentioned it's a little clunky. Not my words, because I haven't seen it yet. That's Lance talking to us a couple of days ago, talking to the leadership group. He said he likes the improvement. He's still not thrilled. He said it's still not their A game, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And he said it's just because we're still a startup. Divvee is still in the startup phase. And then remember, this is all about client acquisition for or customer acquisition rather, for our clients. Okay, as far as the rank and share activities, any questions, any thoughts so far? Don't be bashful. I suppose somebody can raise their hand. If they do, will you see that, Kathy? If somebody raises their hand?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So if you have a question, comment, concern, don't be bashful. All right, as far as the back office stuff, this is how my back office, excuse me, my app on my phone looks today. It's gonna look a little different tomorrow, but there's some points or parts here I wanna point out. First of all, we've got the rank and share activities, which eventually will be scored or tallied on a regular basis. We're working towards getting a weekly tally on the value of our activities, the commission, the points. We are not there yet, but we're working that direction. So still expect that it's going to be maybe a monthly tally. With time, Divvee will be able to communicate about how much each activity is worth. And they will, of course, have different values. Watching that video for 30 seconds versus doing a survey for 10 minutes will have vastly different outcomes for our clients, the advertisers, and vastly different outcomes for us at Divvee. As far as news, we will have a link to go to. That's some pretty funky feedback there. Okay, as far as news, we need to make sure that we're getting the official word from Divvee. We can go to divvee.info, which is new, divvee.info. That's where you'd find a little bit of pre-launch information. If you go to divvee.info later tonight, you'll see some of the pre-launch info from Lance. You'll also be able to see some of that news through the app. The key here is making sure that you go to the official source, so you don't get the urban legend, the rumors. Some of the rumors have been pretty crazy. I heard a month or so back that we were in a partnership with Microsoft. I heard about the same time we had a partnership going with Disney, and Lance was able to knock down both rumors because nothing like that has happened. The key here is make sure we get the official word from the official source. Next, pictures. In your app, or if you're logging in online through the online back office, you can put your picture into your profile, which is really handy, especially as our team starts taking off with this new launch. It would be nice to have your picture, mugshot, whatever it is that you can put in there so we can start to get to know who's who. A few folks have had difficulty confirming their geographical location when they go into the back office. That has cropped up with folks using an Android device on a Wi-Fi. If you're still seeing that error, I expect it'll go away with tomorrow's enhancement. If not, using an Android device, your own or your buddy's, not through Wi-Fi, but actually a cell phone, you can log in and the system at Divvee can easily pick up a location. It's struggling a little bit picking up a location through a Wi-Fi. The location is being verified to make sure that we have people signing up in appropriate countries. They don't want somebody from China trying to sign up saying that they are in the United States, for instance, because that would keep us from getting proper compliance with China. So we're keeping it straight. Okay, tomorrow, as far as what it'll look like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what this will look like, but I'll know first thing in the morning, just like the rest of us. It will change a little bit. We'll see more functionality. We'll see the news working. We'll see travel working. We should see some pretty good upgrades. But again, it's still a work in process. Okay, to join Divvee, it's still 50 bucks. There's an app download for Android. We're still not quite there with Apple, but we can do everything through a web browser. Safari, Chrome, Firefox, whatever browser you happen to be using. And we can do virtually everything in the Divvee universe through a browser. There will be a few app-driven activities, very, very few, that can't be done online. Virtually everything can be done online, so everybody's in. We don't have that impediment any longer for our Apple buddies, which is nice because half of the US is Apple-based. So that's critical, absolutely critical. And it's nice to have that piece taken care of. As far as the free member status, that is on a temporary hiatus. It will be coming back, but temporary hiatus as we focus on enrollments, 50 bucks, folks can get in and go. Lance is confident that's coming back. He didn't have a timetable on our call this week, but it will be coming back in. It's a critical play or component because we have a lot of folks who want to work their way into the $50 purchase. In some households, that's a pretty good jump. So that will be coming back online. We just don't have a timetable, but that is coming. Now, as far as enrolling, that does make things a lot simpler. Having that browser-based participation is great. So I'm happy to say we've got that coming. When we enroll, we get 3 enhancements, 3 important things that come to us in the way of value and opportunity. These are some of the same things we see on the introductory calls. We're going to have some team building tools, travel portal, shopping portal, and I've got a few updates on each. First, as far as team building, we'll be able to send our invitations through text and email, but most importantly, online via a web browser. So if we want to sign somebody up that is an Apple user, we've got a clear path to take care of that. Divvee is paying an enrollment commission of 10 bucks. It's a commission paid into the Divvee comp plan. So if I enroll somebody, I'm not making 10 bucks, I'm making commission, so I'm getting part goes upstream. That enrollment commission, that's temporary, but we don't know how temporary. The executives are still figuring that out. They want some cash flowing. They want it flowing sooner than later. So they're doing this bonus for the enrollment. Typically, they have to be careful about that because you don't want to pay for enrollments in the network marketing world unless you're delivering some value, plenty of value to overcome any objection to the structure itself and having anybody say, well, you're just getting paid to enroll and no value is being given in exchange. And that's just not the case. We have the travel portal, which more than overcomes that, plus provides a tremendous benefit for all of us as affiliates. The travel portal should be up tomorrow. As of Monday, Lance gave it an 80% chance of being up tomorrow and fully functioning. And he said, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, then 100% it will be up next week. They're just wrapping up some last minute logistics and some ancillary contracting issues that had to be taken care of. So that is going to pop up shortly. And I'm looking forward to that because I like to travel. One of the reasons I like businesses like Divvee is that it allows me to travel. and work from other places. The travel is important. It's important because I like it. It's also important because somebody signing up is getting far more than 50 bucks worth of value. They're getting something that in the timeshare space is very comparable as far as the service and the opportunity. And in the timeshare space, you'd expect to spend thousands of dollars to join a system like this. And then you'd have significant upkeep as far as ongoing administrative fees. I've seen other sites that don't have the big upfront, but they're hundreds of dollars per month to get access to a portal like this. So somebody joining is clearly getting some tremendous value, and I'm looking forward to it. I want it up and running tomorrow so I can get some of my summer travel plans put in place. We also have a shopping portal coming. It's not here yet. It's probably going to happen in June. It has multiple partners involved, 3 partners at present. One that loves us, one that likes us, and one that we're still in the courtship phase with. We want to make sure, Divvee wants to make sure that we have multiple partners, because as partners change, as their goals change, then we may fall in and out of relationships. And they want to make sure that we always have a good outlet for shopping. Now, the shopping is interesting because it will give us an opportunity to buy some of the stuff we normally buy at the same prices, and yet we can generate commissions and points for those activities, which I think is tremendous, absolutely tremendous. When we talked with Lance on Monday, he thought that perhaps this could happen in 30 days. I think if we're sharing this with our team members, I think it would be safe to say that this is going to be maybe a June event, late June. That should give them plenty of time. Now, they're not pioneering the technology. They've already been through some significant beta testing. They're just making sure all the contracts and the relationships are in place. The outfit that we're courting is such a large outfit that we're still nobody. Even with 250,000 affiliates, we're really not that big in the eyes of one of these partners. So it's taking time to make sure we have a good, solid relationship in place before that goes forward. I think that's huge. When we look at how much revenue can be generated for Divvee and then pushed through the comp plan, this one has me really excited. I love all the other stuff we're doing. This one's great because in this case, I'm going to do the same stuff I typically do, but I'm going to be able to generate some significant sales through a shopping portal. In our household, we've got multiple businesses that do most of the shopping, supplies, furniture, computers, through online purchases. I bet at least 90% of our regular purchases are online purchases. So it's going to be pretty significant for us, and I think for most households. Okay, when we open up placements tomorrow and enrollments tomorrow, everything's going to work the same. The placement structure hasn't changed at all. And this has been a stroke of genius. When I first looked at the placement plan and structure last year, I was a little put off at first because I saw a 4-page PDF with a bunch of pictures and a lot of white space, not much going on in the way of text and exceptions and all the crud that I would normally see in a comp plan or in a placement structure. Well, it turns out they've got a pretty amazing structure worked out. And it hasn't changed since I first looked at it 6 or 8 months ago. 6 months ago, I guess. And it's brilliant. We're still going to have the same kind of structure. Everybody still will have enrollments that fall under them. We still need 10 enrollments to get paid through 10 tiers, 10 active personal enrollments to get paid through 10 tiers of compensation. And that's really not that big a number. In other network marketing companies, getting 10 enrollments can be a bit of a challenge because there's often quite a bit of knowledge that needs to be gained, an awful lot to learn to master that product that you just got in that starter kit. You might have spent $1,000 or whatever it is for the starter kit. And then it takes quite a bit of time to get really proficient at using the products, more time to get well-versed and really comfortable so you can go out and share and teach a class and host a party. And we just don't have that. So we don't have some of the time commitment that it takes to get rolling. And I like it. I like that we don't have that. It gives me real hope that we can get to some serious numbers. If things went exceptionally well and you built through 10 tiers in a 3x3 structure, you could end up with about 88,500 people in your team, in your downline. And I think that might be possible. I think it might be. But even if we can just get through the first 5, 6 tiers, we can get into some significant personal income. And I think that's possible because this is not very difficult to do. We have our daily activities, our daily commitment, but otherwise it's not that tough. So it's very encouraging. Okay, as far as where we're at today, well, tomorrow actually. Tomorrow in the United States, we have points and commissions. And more importantly, we have a lot of inventory. And Divvee, when we talk about inventory, we're talking about the rank and share stuff. Surveys, email stuff, product placements, all that rank and share stuff. That's the inventory. That's the stuff we need to be able to do our activities. And in the English-speaking world, we've got inventory, plenty of inventory. So the US is up and running. Canada and the UK. For the UK, that would be England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. They are almost there. They'll have plenty of content, plenty of inventory to work with. They'll get points for doing activities, just like we do in the United States. We're going to get points. Points are back and as good as ever. In the UK and Canada, if they do an activity, they can get points. Commissions are being banked. So they're going to be tracked, accounted for, and banked until the last steps are taken to get fully approved in those countries. And that's pretty close. It's looking like 30 to 45 days. Might be a little shorter, might be a little longer, but that's moving along. That regulatory approval is moving along very nicely in Canada and the UK. And the commissions that are earned between tomorrow and whenever the final approval is received, they'll all be accounted for and they will all be paid. For Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Peru, inventory is kind of skinny. You get outside of English and inventory is a little skinny, but Divvee is working strenuously to get the inventory up. They've got many different avenues they're pursuing and it's looking good, but they need some deeper inventory. So they're pretty close on those countries. They can get points, they'll bank commissions, but they're just a little skinny. Japan, I don't understand. I know it's a special case. Lance mentioned that. He said they're working through a little different approval process than I'm not fully involved in. I just know it's a special case and that one is coming, but he didn't say exactly when. Now, other countries will be open as soon as either travel or shopping are fully available. And it would be a soft launch first, followed by a full launch. The soft launch would be allowing folks to sign up and do activities and earn points that they can exchange in the redemption center. But before that can happen, they need to have either travel or shopping. Divvee is concerned that if somebody in Russia signs up, they want to make sure that they get plenty of value for the 50 bucks they spend. To make sure they get plenty of value, we'll have either shopping or travel, most likely travel, available to them, so they're getting something that is clearly worth more than 50 bucks. Divvee is making darn sure that they are conveying more value than they're receiving in the form of that sign-up fee. That just keeps them regulatory, well, this keeps them clean. Keeps the regulators and the regulatory issues completely off the page for us. So we've got those countries. I get asked pretty regularly about others. I got questions from let's see, Thailand, Nigeria, Portugal, and I can't remember how many other countries this week. They all depend on shopping. We don't have a definitive timetable on any of those, except that it will go fairly quickly. We still have some countries that are going to be off limits. They're just too challenging at the moment. For instance, China, India, North Korea, and any of the stands. So Afghanistan, Tajikistan, any of the stands, Pakistan. They're all touchier and they all take longer. They're more challenging to do business with. Thankfully, we don't have the logistical challenges that come with setting up a network marketing company that has a physical product. So we're not building warehouses, we're not arranging for shipping and things like that, but we still have to get the tech in place, which is not that difficult, but the regulatory approvals have to be in place, and that can be more challenging. Anyway, tomorrow we get plenty of play space with the US, Canada, UK, and others. So I'm pretty excited. We're up and running. Now, as far as, oh, you know what? I don't need that full slide. Let me skip forward. I want this slide. As far as training, we're still going to have our Tuesday and Thursday calls, but we're going to start doing more. As of tomorrow, we'll see what the new Divvee 2.0 looks like. Lance says that Divvee will strive to come up with some training, but Divvee is looking largely to the teams, to us, to come up with the training. So expect that we'll be announcing and rolling out training by Monday so that we can be up and running. We just need to see the final product. We haven't been able to get our eyes on, none of the leadership has gotten eyes on this final product. So we don't know exactly where the gaps are going to be in the training. Just know that we will be jumping on it, scripting over the weekend and deploying on Monday so that whatever needs to be produced in the way of training or an opportunity video or a comp plan video, whatever needs to be produced will get produced. In the meantime, if you want to come up with ideas and share them, that's great. Just make sure they go through the marketing compliance team at Divvee before they get launched anywhere else. Now, Divvee is going to be hopefully launching a short opportunity video and a short comp plan video. We haven't seen those. We don't know if they're going to get the job done. We do expect them to be in English and probably in Spanish. If we choose to translate into other languages, those translations would also have to go through the marketing compliance folks at Divvee. Divvee is striving to keep everything squeaky clean from a compliance standpoint. Because of the uniqueness of our model, the uniqueness of our services we're offering, we have to be really careful about our messaging. Going back to that shopping, when the shopping finally rolls out, one of the points of stress for the executives at Divvee is that an affiliate will go out and say, well, we are partners with so-and-so. We partnered with, pick Amazon. They're the 1,000-pound gorilla. Divvee is a partner with Amazon. Amazon is now in the network marketing business and we're it for them. And we don't want to see that hit Facebook. We don't want to see that improperly communicated. If Amazon sees that, they might well just shut us off. There will be something that we can say that's part of what needs to be worked out with Amazon or Walmart or whoever it is that Divvee is partnering up with. And we need to make sure that what's being communicated is spot on perfect and acceptable to our partners. If it's not, then we could lose some of these partnerships that Divvee is working so hard to get. So we just need to make sure our verbiage is good, that everything is clean. Okay, so we'll have the training and then we'll be ready to launch. So those are all the updates. That's all the stuff that we know pre-launch. We're going to have quite a few changes, I'm sure, as we see what's in that back office tomorrow. I am tickled that we're going to be up and running, that we'll have points just like before. We still have a redemption center that's arranged and ready, top quality products, and commissions are set to go. The only other thing I can think of that's been nettlesome this week is in the pay system in the back office. Some folks have tried to update some of the information in their back office. Well, the back office hasn't been doing any updates on the pay system. I expect that will be turned back on tomorrow, so that will become a non-issue. We will certainly find out tomorrow. All right, as far as questions, have we had any hands raised so far, Kathy?
No, but there have been a couple questions in the chat.
Oh, I can't see
Let's
that.
just tell those to you.
Yes.
Okay, so Mary Hoover is wondering, what is the time frame as far as signing people up tomorrow? Any idea of when that's going to launch?
Actually, they haven't told us.
Okay. I was also wondering, oh, I lost it. Okay, it'll come back to me. We had another one in there. Liza Ford was asking if there are 250,000 current enrollments, where do they fall on the MLM pyramid?
That's an MLM pyramid. What does that mean?
So I think what she's asking, so Divvee has already enrolled 250,000 people thus far, correct? So I think she's just wondering where they are. And if I understand correctly, they're probably beside our team.
Well, they're certainly not on our team. I wish that they all were on our team. They're dispersed over about 24 teams. There are some teams that started a year ago and that brought over large groups, like from ACN and other network marketing groups.
Todd, I can't hear you very well.
Is that better?
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, as far as the 250,000, it's actually about, well, a little bit more than 250,000. They're dispersed over about a dozen teams. There are a dozen major teams. Some of those teams have been in Divvee since a year ago. A lot of those big numbers came from groups that were moving over from other network marketing group companies like ACN, some others that were struggling or crumbling. So some of those were already well organized, well positioned to make a move. But I also know some of those have fallen apart and have wandered away because Divvee has gone through these growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
So that 250,000 number, it's kind of a soft number now because a lot of folks have drifted.
Mm-hmm.
Our team actually has been pretty stalwart. We're one of the newer teams. We didn't jump on this until 2-3 months ago and really get rolling. Well, I guess it's been 4 months now. But for the most part, folks who jumped in stayed in. And I understand that for some of the older, bigger teams that started last summer, that has not been the case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good question and good answer. Another one, let's see, is, Lauren is wondering what companies do you have a partnership with so far?
As far as shopping?
That's my assumption.
Well, I suppose it's okay to say, but it's not open. Let's just make sure that that's clear. It's not open, not available. I know that there are a couple that really want to do business with us. Woot is one of those. Woot is like a second-tier Amazon reseller. If Samsung Galaxy 8 is out, Woot would be selling a 7. So they're like a generation old on a lot of tech products. A good outfit, kind of like Overstock.com. And they love us. They love the reach that we can provide. Walmart badly wants us because Walmart wants a better online reach, a better tech reach. And they can bring us a tremendous amount of stuff. We've got another very large partner. That one is the one that's still being courted. We have contracts in place, but that one's a little touchier. That's one we're being a little more careful with. So I'm not going to mention that one. But most of the folks out there will recognize it when that one comes on. And then Divvy's still working with others beyond those three. They just want to make sure that we've got several and that we've got plenty of choices, plenty of options. Let's just be clear, that's probably a late June kind of event.
Right.
But dang exciting. In
Right.
the intro call, I talk about moving towards $1 of value per day per enrollee. That's something that the executives have talked about since, well, as long as I've been involved. And at first I thought they were crazy. I thought they're all in Colorado smoking something that shouldn't be smoked. But as I've gotten to see what's really going on in the way of the contracts and our activities, that $1 per enrollee per day, that's starting to look really real and very achievable. And that's pretty exciting. If I can earn $30 for each person in my downline, I can see it doesn't take much of a downline to move the financial needle in my household.
Right. So Lawrence, I think just want some clarification, and it's what I was asking you the other day, because I know we've got a lot of bloggers that do affiliate marketing like I do. And so how it will work, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but if someone in your downline makes a purchase, you know, let's say Amazon pays 4% or Walmart pays 2% of that purchase price, that is divided up and split evenly between the 10 levels above that person. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So,
but points will factor in as well. I don't know the exact formula, but in most of what Divvee does, they're going to have an equal amount of value put to points as they do to commission. I expect that will continue here. So if there's a $10 activity, $5 will show up in points, $5 will go into commission. So the person doing the activity gets rewarded. I assume the same thing will apply to shopping.
right, and so
the numbers get interesting when you aggregate large amounts of volume through an Amazon or Walmart or Woot or any of those. You get into the high single digits pretty quickly based on significant volume, and sometimes you even get into the low double digits. 11, 12% is not unheard of. So
right.
some interesting numbers in a hurry.
Right. And the thing is it's you get that not just for the people that you personally enrolled, it's for everybody under you.
Exactly.
That you benefit
Yep.
from. So you have
Yep.
a larger
10 tiers deep.
Okay, so Lauren, so if they spend $100 at Walmart and Divvee gets 2% from their partnership, then Divvee splits it with the person who signed up.
Yeah, a person doing the activity. I assume it's going to work the same as it does with the other rank and share activities.
Mm-hmm.
With the basic rank and share activities, let's say I'm doing a survey, some money will get paid to Divvee. Some of that money goes to Divvee to run operations. The rest will be split, half to points, half to commission. That's the standard split that Divvee is working. And I assume the same will apply to shopping. We haven't seen the final shopping structure, but I assume it will follow the same pattern that Divvee does with everything else.
Right. And
but I'm only speculating because we haven't seen the final details.
And Lauren, I'm not sure how many webinars you've been on or if you understand how it works, but it's say I do the action or I make the purchase. It's split, the cash payout is split evenly with 10 people above me. So it's you, it's, you know, everybody above is how it's split up. And so when you've got, you know, 5,000 people underneath you that are all shopping online, you're benefiting from that. And yeah, same with the survey companies. I don't know the exact name of the survey companies that we're working with.
I'd have to dig in my email. I know I've done a bunch with Harris Poll, but I've also done about a half dozen other companies. And a lot of that's been piloting and beta testing. We'll know for sure tomorrow. We'll have a lot better idea.
Right. So I think that I got all the questions. I remember my question was, I think that I saw on a slide that you said that they've announced how long they'll be paying the $10 out.
They have not.
They
We
have
asked
not.
Lance on Monday. He wasn't sure. They hadn't reached a decision on that.
Okay.
Personally, I just assume they didn't pay it. I would rather see just getting compensation for the actual work,
Mm-hmm.
but they are certainly squeaky clean from a compliance standpoint, paying the $10. So that's great. It's fine. And I'll accept it. I'm not turning it down.
Right. Okay. So I don't see any other questions or hands raised.
Okay. All right. Next week we'll have more training. I'll know tomorrow how much more. We'll announce the training at Monday at the latest. We'll announce what's going on. And I will have a decent internet connection next week. So hopefully we won't run into these issues again. I do like the discussion approach that we can have with Zoom. We just can't easily take Zoom and run it into it's not as clean running it into a YouTube video the way it is with Webinar Jam, which has its own clunkiness. At any rate, we'll figure out the training. We'll have plenty of it. We'll get it scheduled out Monday, and we'll get ready to roll. Start rolling tomorrow. I know I've got enrollments ready to go. I hope you do too. All right. Thanks, Kathy. I really appreciate your help. Appreciate having everybody on the call.
All right.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.